The neon skyline of New Damascus never slept. From the high rise where I stood, the spires of the city rose like sharpened blades, their tips cutting into the low-hanging smog. The hum of grav cars blended with the hiss of cooling turbines. Down below, the market districts swarmed with merchants hawking nanoweaves, bioenhancements, and black market AIs. But my eyes weren't on the city. They were on her. She leaned against the balcony rail, her hair tangled by the polluted wind, a faint trace of starlight caught in her eyes. Lyra wasn't human, at least not anymore. "Don't," she said, her voice as sharp as the edge of a plasma blade. "If you touch me again, you're dead." Smiled. I touched her shoulder anyway. The air between us seemed to tremble, alive with the charge of her augmentations. For a heartbeat, I wondered if she really would kill me. The beginning, a contract written in shadows, started with a contract. I was a retriever, one of those people you hire when something too dangerous or too illegal needs to be found. No questions asked. No loyalties kept. The client had been anonymous, his face hidden behind a distortion field, his voice a filtered whisper. "She is dangerous. She carries a key," he'd told me. "Retrieve her, alive if possible." I'd heard of Lyra before. Everyone in New Damascus had. A woman caught between human flesh and alien tech, the last survivor of the Helix catastrophe. They said her blood could wake machines older than the Earth itself. I'd expected a monster. What I found was someone who laughed at the wrong times, who stared too long at the stars as if searching for home, and who never, ever let anyone close. We met in the ruins of old Quarter 3. She was already running when I found her, sprinting across fractured concrete while drones screamed overhead. I should have restrained her. Instead, I joined her. Maybe it was instinct, maybe madness, but from that moment I wasn't just retrieving her, I was protecting her. The middle, the road between. The city wasn't safe for her. Every faction wanted her blood. The corporate syndicates for their weapons programs, the rebels for their dreams of liberation, the scavenger guilds for raw profit. Even the government's shadow agents whispered her name. For weeks we moved through the underbelly of New Damascus. We hid in abandoned metro stations where old hollow posters flickered with forgotten slogans. We stole food from markets where sellers pretended not to see us. I patched her wounds with medgel stolen from a clinic. But the more time I spent with her, the more I saw the cracks in her armor. At night, when she thought I was asleep, she pressed her hands to her temples as though silencing voices only she could hear. Sometimes her eyes glowed faintly, filled with streams of alien code. One night, while the storm lights rumbled across the city, I asked her, "What's inside you?" She didn't answer at first. Then she whispered, "A seed. A seed. Not of this world. It speaks in fragments. It remembers things I shouldn't know. Whole galaxies burned into ash. Civilizations lost. It wants me to finish what was started." "And what's that?" She turned her gaze on me then, and I swore the city lights bent around her. "The end. The hunt tightens." They found us 3 weeks later. Corporate retrieval units, clad in exosuits with rifles that could cut through starship hulls, cornered us in the old maglev tunnels. Their commander's voice echoed down the rusted steel. "Lyra, hand over the key. The rest of you walk away alive." Lyra gripped my wrist so tight I felt bone grind. Her whisper was fire and fear all at once. "If you touch me again, you're dead." She meant it differently this time. Not as a threat but a warning. The seed inside her was waking. I could see it in the way the air rippled around her, in the way the soldiers faltered before firing. Her skin shimmered with lines of light, circuits weaving across flesh. I smiled at her anyway. Then I guess I'll die. And I touched her hand. The tunnel erupted in brilliance. Her body became a conduit, channeling energy I couldn't comprehend. The soldiers didn't even scream. They simply ceased, their armor collapsing into piles of twisted alloy. The walls themselves groaned as the pulse surged outward, tearing apart half the station. When it was over, Lyra collapsed. Smoke curled from her lips, her chest barely rising. I caught her before she hit the ground. She opened her eyes just enough to whisper, "I told you not to touch me." "Yeah," I said, cradling her against me. "But you'd be dead without me." The truth in the stars. We couldn't stay in New Damascus anymore. The city was burning with rumors of what had happened, and every hunter alive now knew she wasn't just carrying a key. She was the key. So we left. We boarded a stolen freighter, its autopilot half dead, and drifted into the void. Days stretched into weeks as the stars bled past us, endless and cold. It was in that silence that she finally told me everything. The seed inside her wasn't a weapon. It was a message. A remnant of an extinct race known as the Archelons. They had seen their universe collapse into ruin, and in desperation, they encoded their knowledge into fragments scattered across the stars. Lyra, by chance or perhaps by design, had become one of those fragments. "Their memories live in me," she said one night as we floated beyond the rim. "They burned everything they loved so something could survive. But survival isn't enough. They want rebirth. Through me. And if you refuse..." Yes. Her smile was broken glass. Then the seed chooses another. And the cycle continues until the end finds us all. The warship and the choice. We weren't alone for long. A warship tracked us across the void. A sleek predator built for annihilation. Its hull bore the insignia of the Orion Syndicate, the same people who had first hired me. They hailed us, their captain's voice cold and certain. "Hand her over. The universe does not need ghosts of dead civilizations." Lyra stood on the deck of our failing freighter, her body aglow with alien fire. She looked at me, her voice steady. "If you touch me again, you're dead." I understood this time. Not because she would kill me, but because what came next might kill everything. She wanted me to let go, to step back, to stop fighting her fate. But I couldn't. So I smiled. And I touched her again. The universe shifted. The warship didn't explode. It didn't burn. Instead it changed. Its metal skin folded like paper. Its weapons dissolving into threads of light. I saw glimpses of entire worlds in those threads. Oceans that breathed, cities built of sound, beings of pure energy. The Archelons weren't dead. Not completely. They were waiting, hidden in the fabric of reality, and Lyra was their bridge. My touch had given her the anchor she needed to open the door. The warship dissolved into silence. The void around us filled with new stars, constellations never before seen. Lyra gasped, her body trembling under the weight of what she had unleashed. She turned to me, tears blazing like starlight. "You shouldn't have touched me." "Maybe not," I said, holding her steady. "But I'd rather die with you than live without knowing." The ending, the new dawn. The universe is different now. New stars rise where none existed before. Entire systems blink into being, birthed from the memory of the Archelons. Not all of them are safe. Some worlds hold horrors older than Earth. But life has returned where once there was only void.